This is our second lesson on estimation, and it's a little bit of a side trip from where we were on the last lesson. What we want to do here is simply try to get some idea of what it is that an estimate is estimating, and the two choices we'll have will be that any estimate we look at, any confidence interval, will be for either a mean or a proportion. So just to try to illustrate the difference between those two, let's take a look at some data here. So let's suppose that we're looking at this group of individuals. There are 7 individuals. We can see that in that group we have what each of these things indicates is this is a male, age 21 years, male, age of 18, female, age of 19, and so on. So there are a couple things we could do with this set of data. One thing we could do, for instance, would be to look at the ratio or the proportion of the individuals here that are female. So to do that, we would count up, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 females out of a total of 7 individuals. So the proportion of the group that is female is 4 out of 7. And we can convert that, and we usually will, into a percent. So as I do that, I got 4 divided by 7 equals 0.57. Or 57%. Okay, so that's what we're going to mean. That's what we're going to be talking about when we talk about a proportion. A proportion will generally show up in an estimate as a percent. On the other hand, if we were to take these people and average their ages, so remember we call an average a mean. So the mean age for this group would be the total of their ages, 21 plus 18 plus 19 plus 21 plus 20 plus 18 plus 19 over 7. We can see here, let's see, 21 plus 19 is 40, there's 58, 78, 79, 99, 109, 118, 128, 136. So this totals up to 136 over 7. And if we do the division there, then we get, a mean or an average age of 19.4 years. Okay, so again, this the second value here represents a mean. The first value represents a proportion. A couple of ways we can recognize those things in practice. When we're seeing a mean, the mean will have units of whatever it is that's being averaged, in this case years. But in general, the mean will be something other than a percent, whereas a proportion will usually be given as a percent. Now that's going to be a little confusing because we'll have a percent representing something else as well in a little bit. But for now, when we're looking for a proportion, we look for a percent. When we look for a mean, we're looking for something that has units of whatever it is we're dealing with, and some indication that an average was taken. So let's look at a few examples. These are some things we looked at before. This first is an example of an estimate. And what we have here is where an advertisement claims or reports that 4 out of 5 dentists prefer Dazzle-Brite toothpaste. So when we see the 4 out of 5, we can write that as a proportion. We could write that as 4 out of 5, which is 0.8, or 80%. So in other words, 80% of dentists prefer Dazzle-Brite. So that, in that case, is a proportion. The next one we'll look at here is this one. a survey indicates that 57% of teenage drivers have read or sent a text while driving. So they get this 57% by taking some number that have read or sent texts divided by the total number of teenage drivers that they talk to. So again, this is a proportion. Also, the percent sign there is definitely a giveaway. So proportion in this case. Moving to our next example, actually the language gives it away pretty quickly. It says the average age. Okay, so we're talking about a mean, because a mean is an average. But we can see here the average age of 240.5 million cars and light trucks being driven in the U.S. rose to 10.8 years. So again, we can see two things. First of all, it says average, that indicates it's a mean, and also the fact that the number of interest, the 10.8, has some units with it other than a percentage. So in this case, we are looking at a mean. And that concludes this lesson. This is just kind of a short one, and we'll get back into sort of the meat of interval estimates on the next lesson.